welcome again to my channel, and now I'm going to watch a video called Fate Lore Abridged, The Ridiculous Tales of Camelot by Otaku Daikun, so let's check it out.
So, to start things off, we've got Britain during the Dark Ages. The Roman Empire pulls its forces from Britannia, leaving it to fend for itself. 'Twas a time of vulnerability, invasion all over the damn place, especially from the Saxons.
Damn the Saxons!
The parts of Britain that are
Damn the
unified
Saxons!
are ruled by my man Uther Pendragon. He's aight, but his kingdom is headed downhill fast. I mean, he's just one guy, and it certainly doesn't help that one of his
Look at
nobles,
the dragon,
a
it's
douche
so
called
cute.
Vortigern, goes all Benedict Arnold and schemes along with the invaders. He's bad news, too. Got the essence of a dragon and can literally turn into one. You see, this is back during the Age of Gods, when people could just do that. It's a smorgasbord of magecraft, deities, and crazy critters. So you'd think that Uther is screwed, having to fight an actual dragon and all. But it turns out he's got connections. His boy Merlin, to be precise. Merlin's crazy, old as hell too, but has the complexion of Britain's next top model. Uther runs up to Merlin and is all like,
Merlin, what do I do? Nobody said I'd have to fight dragons. Do you see any hobbits around? No, I don't think so.
then Merlin's like,
Chill, my liege. I got this. The key's in your name, you know. Pendragon? We just gotta get ourselves some of that dragon mojo.
I can do that?
Not you, but your kid. You just gotta knock up the right
Dragon
woman.
mojo.
I'll wave my magic stick and bam! Dragon baby.
The right woman.
Totally! It takes a special someone to carry dragon children to term.
All right. Then who?
Give me a sec.
Merlin takes a moment to divine one of his prophecies.
Well, I found one candidate.
Really?
This lady, Igraine. She has the magical endurance of a rampaging Heracles.
Damn it, Merlin!
What?
Igraine is the wife of my buddy, the Duke of Cornwall.
So? NTR for life. Come on, it's either this or complete destruction of the kingdom.
Very well.
Obviously, this plan doesn't fly well with the Duke of Cornwall, and they start fighting. But Merlin's a magus of many talents and perversions. He casts a spell on Uther to make him look just like Igraine's husband. Uther infiltrates enemy lines and pulls some kind of "honey, I'm home" nonsense to get into bed with Igraine. To seal the deal, Merlin has enchanted
Merlin,
Uther's
the
junk
son of a
so that the
bitch.
kid they conceive has the red dragon's essence. Uther later has a proper marriage with Igraine, and things seem swell. Until the baby's born.
Cursed gotcha! Much salt is had this day.
What now? You've got yourself a dragon baby.
Merlin assures.
I rolled a daughter, not a son.
This girl shall be Britain's next king. I've told it.
Arthuria.
Girls can't be kings.
My liege, get with the times. It's already the 6th century.
No! No, 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 no!
Uther throws a hissy fit, and Merlin decides to take the child, Artoria, into his own care. He babysits for like 5 years before handing her off to a respected knight, Sir Ector, who teaches her to be a knight. Lil Artoria spends her days learning to fight and care for their horses, but she also gets pushed around by Ector's son, Sir Kay. Sup, twerp? You're my squire, so get used to carrying all my stuff. Ector is instructed to treat her as a man, and so she's called Artorias. After a hard day's work, Artoria will go to bed and try to sleep, but alas.
Hey, it's me, Merlin. Ready for your kingship training?
Huh? Aren't I sleeping?
Just a bit of dream diving. So you ready or not?
What the hell is kingship training?
You know, morals, politics, tactics, all that jazz. You are gonna be king after all.
Okay, so I don't even get to sleep?
Come on, it'll be fun. Just pretend you're Simba.
Well, I
Attaboy, let's begin.
do like climbing.
Pretend you're
So literally
Simba.
every hour of her existence, Artoria is immersed in learning to be a king. She kinda wants to go into town as a normal girl for a bit, but ain't nobody got time for that. Before long, she stops caring and just goes along with it. Meanwhile, Uther, still salty, loses a fight to Vortigern and flees the kingdom like a pansy. Rage quit. And Merlin's gotta smooth things over.
I'm sorry for the unexpected maintenance. I don't have any apologems to hand out, but rest assured you will have a new king who's way cooler than Uther was.
The people all believe Merlin, but it doesn't sit well with Uther's older daughter, Morgan Le Fay, who wishes she could rule the kingdom. Artoria turns 16, and Merlin's sick of holding the people over, so he's ready to appoint the next king. He sets up a rigged trial, the sword in the stone.
Whoever yanketh this sword from this rock shall be Britain's rockin' new king. Have at ye, or whatever.
Sir Kay and his bros shove Artoria to the side and try to pull Caliburn from the rock.
Step aside, punk. I'll show you how a real man does it.
Kay yanks on the sword and fails miserably.
You know what? This trial's for losers. Real men do jousting.
He and his bros all head to the arena to poke each other with sticks. And Artoria is left alone with Merlin and the sword. Realizing this event was rigged for someone just like her, Artoria approaches Caliburn and tries to pull it.
Wait!
Says Merlin.
What?
Complains Artoria.
Careful. Pull that sword and there's no going back. Being a king's not all fluffy unicorns and candy canes.
Dude, you're the one who put me up to this. Whatever. Damn it,
I'm the person
I
who
am
created
king.
these dialogues.
With great resolve, Artoria pulls the sword from the stone,
Yay!
pulling it high as proof of her kingship. Her body stops aging.
Easy,
It's the
breezy,
beginning of our
beautiful.
misery.
Artoria.
Problem is, everyone was off watching the jousting match, so Merlin had to scrounge up some witnesses to convince everyone. When she's appointed king, her sister Morgan flips out and goes into hiding, pissed off and totally jelly. Artoria puts on her best tomboy act and somehow manages to rely on her androgyny to fool her people.
Oh, this? This isn't a battle skirt. It's a tunic. Yeah, a very long tunic.
The few closest enough to her to know the truth, like Sir Kay, don't really give a damn. They're just convinced by her epic king skills. She establishes Camelot and begins forming the Knights of the Round Table, who dance whenever able. Along with Ham, Jam, and Spam, she gathers loyal allies by charging into battle against the Saxons.
Damn the Saxons!
From the front lines, she kicks ass with all her dragon buffs. Word of her awesomeness bleeds out to France, where a noble, Sir Lancelot, starts to feel threatened. Ha! That new king of Britain can't possibly be as strong as me. He sails out to Britain and finds her putting the beat down on invaders. Mildly oblivious, he is convinced. That young boy's got some moves. If you can't beat him, join him. Before long, Artoria has an entire cabinet of talented knights at her side, including Sir Gawain, Sir Tristan, and Sir Bedivere. Morgan Le Fay is totally not cool with this, so she hires an assassin, her own son, Sir Agravain,
Tristan
to
is
sabotage
crying.
her sister. He shows up and joins the knights, ready to off Artoria, but then he's all like, huh, this guy ain't half bad. Morgan can suck it. Artoria and her knights team up to fight Vortigern in his dragon form. Ah, what are we gonna do? Our swords aren't working. We're done for, man.
Fool! Bring me my holy spear.
You have a holy spear?
The one that's been in my family for ages.
Oh. In a single strike, Artoria slays Vortigern with the spear Rongo Minyad. And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Thus, they have time to plan the kingdom's future. Artoria feels that Britain should have a king and queen, so she marries Lady Guinevere for political stability. It may have been a better option to go for an actual lesbian, though, as Guinevere is kinda screwed by this arrangement. She and Artoria aren't a thing, but they have to act like it in public. With certain urges to satisfy, she seeks out Sir Lancelot, and they start boning in secret. Oops.
Got needs, you know?
Meanwhile, Artoria and Merlin are hanging out talking. When they get to the topic of children, Artoria reminds Merlin.
You haven't forgotten I'm a woman, yes?
You still need an heir, don't ya?
Merlin, you don't get it. Two women can't have a baby together.
Then, with a sly, degenerative grin upon his face, Merlin snickers before whipping out his staff and transforming Artoria into a temporary futanari.
What the hell did you do to me?
I saw this in a dojin somewhere. I swear it'll work.
If you say so.
Awkwardness abound. The king and queen can now have their own child, much to Merlin's pleasure. But he clearly gets ahead of himself. At night, like a
What's with that
sneaky
laughter?
cartoon villain,
Oh.
Morgan Le Fay slithers through the castle, finds her sister, and takes advantage of her new anatomy. Morgan enchants Artoria, takes her for a ride, and escapes with the king's sacred stuff. I guess at this point she figured nobody would accept her as king, what with all the scheming she's been up to. Instead, Morgan bears her own sister's child in secrecy and tries to get her to do the dirty work.
Little does she know, I'm raising her worst nightmare.
So either Artoria isn't that great at taking care of her things, or Morgan has this arranged through plotting. The selection sword Caliburn gets broken. But the timing is hella convenient. One day, Artoria pays a visit to Vivian, the Lady of the Lake, a fairy-grade spirit. She pulls Artoria to the side and is all like,
Hey, I see you're in need of a new sword.
Artoria looks down at
Yeah, the
Caliburn,
voice is so
all
funny.
strapped with duct tape,
That's the
and
voice of
replies,
Lady of the Lake.
How'd you guess?
Well, I have just the offer for you. Act now to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Vivian, I'm not in the mood for...
Behold, the sword of promised victory, Excalibur.
Vivian whips out a glorious blade from the water, presenting it like a showgirl.
This exquisite product was forged by the planet from the wishes of mankind. It was entrusted to me to just kind of hang on to, I guess. Its
Your
golden
first line
light,
is
charged with
really
your mana,
something.
can create a thermal beam that can char through fortresses and slaughter the toughest of foes. This is one heck of a deal.
Sounds OP. What's the catch?
No catch? Just act now. Yes, act now, and you'll also receive Excalibur's scabbard, Avalon, as a complimentary bonus. With this baby by your side, you literally can't die.
This is
This
a very
item is
talented
free for a limited
salesperson.
time.
Really? All that for free?
Yep, just return it when you're done. I'm kinda sorta still its guardian.
With vigor, Artoria accepts the blade, not knowing she has been forever duped into becoming one of the weaker 5 stars in the roster. Regardless, with Excalibur and Avalon, she is unstoppable, continuing to repel invaders with ease, as a master of frontline combat. During this reign of victory, a visitor comes to Camelot, disguised in badass transforming armor. This knight demonstrates her skills to the king, requesting membership into the Knights of the Round Table.
I acknowledge your abilities, Sir Knight.
Artoria declares.
Might you be willing to remove your helmet so that I may see your face?
Nuh-uh.
The knight denies.
So you intend to serve in my court with that thing over your head at all times? It'll be a sauna come summer.
The knight nods. After an awkward silence, Artoria decides.
Very well. I would be lying if I said I didn't also have things to hide.
The reason the knight keeps her identity hidden is because, of course, she is Mordred, the homunculus child born from Morgan Le Fay deceiving Artoria. Angry Morgan Mommy has sent her child to Camelot in order to once again attempt to sabotage the king. In due time, everyone around Artoria starts to notice something off about her. She is selfless and objective to a fault. Without emotion, she takes whatever action she believes will help Britain. On paper, this is great, but in practice, Artoria comes off as someone with no desires of her own. Rather than being a king who sets an example for her people, showing them the way, she instead sacrifices herself for her country. She saves them, but does not rule them. This leads rumors to spread throughout Britain that King Arthur does not understand human emotions.
Yo, she just doesn't get us, man. Jeez.
Turns out that Mordred is thrilled about this. After all, she herself is not fully human. She ages quickly and has a limited lifespan due to the magic it took to create her. Thus, Mordred, who is supposed to be plotting against the king, actually winds up admiring Artoria and serves as an accomplished knight. That is, until Morgan returns complaining.
Why the hell are you helping the king?
Mordred retaliates.
Whatever, Mom. I'll do what I want. Besides, the king's a total badass. Oh, you like the king, huh? What if I told you that Arthur's blood runs through your veins? You mean I'm King Arthur's son? Son? But you're a girl. Don't you dare call me a girl.
Taken aback, Morgan shakes her head.
Just go to King Arthur and claim your birthright for crying out loud.
Thus, Mordred happily skips her way to Artoria's quarters, revealing herself and demanding to be heir.
Not on your life.
Rejects Artoria.
I haven't even finished talking.
Cries Mordred.
Child of sisterly incest or not, you are not fit to be king. A playful kitty cat cannot hope to carry the burden of a proud lion.
The burn factor is so strong that Mordred rages, forever earning the title Daddy Issues. Some more time passes, and Artoria discovers that her wife Guinevere and closest knight Lancelot have been getting down when no one's around. So she sends Lancelot a lovely letter.
Dear Lancelot, my dearest friend, I see that my wife is not my own. Die Jobs, it's cool. I forgive you, and give you my full blessing to cuckold me with Guinevere.
Needless to say, Lancelot reads this and feels really bad. In fact, he instead wishes Artoria would just punish him, hate him for his betrayal. But he has no idea what's up next. After wasting a solid chunk of time looking for the Holy Grail, since mana in Britain was running low or whatever, Artoria instead decides to sail off to Rome and inflict some diplomatic violence. Honestly, she's just sick and tired of overseas invaders. Can't really blame her there. That said, she kinda leaves her home turf a mess. What with Mordred brooding in the shadows, vowing for vengeance, and Lancelot wallowing in his own guilt. It's kinda like bathing in gasoline before jumping through a ring of fire. The first spark is when Sir Agravain walks in on Lancelot and Guinevere with their junk out and sounds the alarm, declaring them traitors. Lance flips out and goes on a rampage, fleeing back to his country. The knights, clearly not understanding the appeal of Netorare, lock up Guinevere as a traitor and entice Lancelot to come all the way back and murder his way through the guards to rescue her. So, clearly the feces hit the fan, and the people are all lost and confused. Mordred jumps in and is all like,
This is why we can't have nice things. Join me and claim Britain from our inhuman king.
Mob mentality leans in her favor, so that when Artoria returns from Rome, she's met with armed forces at the hills of Camelot.
I'm back, soldiers and citizens. I hope things are well.
Artoria greets.
This ain't a
not
welcome
so well.
party, Dad. It's a revolt. Oh, damn. I can't believe you've done this. The throne is mine, Arthur. Did you forget I'm invincible with Avalon by my side? Oh, and where is your precious scabbard?
Sweat rolls down the king's face as she realizes that someone
lost
had
it.
stolen Avalon during her days in Rome. She could now be killed. Furthermore, she eyes Mordred and notices her holding a new sword.
Clarence? Where did you get that blade?
Laughing maniacally, Mordred details.
I stole it from your storehouse. It was just sitting there collecting dust. You truly are awful with your stuff, Father. Well, damn. It seems the tables have turned, but I mustn't lose.
Thus, a bloody battle begins and endures. But in true Dynasty Warriors fashion, nobody else matters but the lead officers who survive and encounter each other in a fated duel.
Father, why you gotta hate me? Is it because my mother, your own sister, manipulated and straddled you? That does sound pretty bad, doesn't it?
They engage in a final battle. Mordred knocks Excalibur from Artoria's hands and aims for a critical strike. Yet Artoria still has her other sacred weapon, Rongo Minyad, which she pulls out of nowhere and uses to run Mordred through.
Out of
They
nowhere.
hit each other with fatal blows, resulting in a
Double kill.
As Mordred falls, Artoria reiterates,
I probably could have worded this better, but I don't hate you. You just aren't that qualified for the job.
With that, Moedred meets her end, but Artoria realizes she's got some time
Moedred.
left. Her knight, Sir Bedivere, escorts her to a safe place beyond the battleground.
Hey, Bedivere, come over here.
Yes, my lord?
I've got a return to make to the video store. Lady of the Lake, I know I'm dying, but I can't stand late fees.
She hands off the holy sword Excalibur. How do I return a sword?
Just toss it into the water or something. Feed it to the fishes.
With that, Victoria kicks the bucket. Well, not really. As she dies, she's super upset that she still has to wait 2 days for her command seals to reset. She yearns for a second chance when suddenly, the will of the planet calls out to her. Answer me these questions 3, ere the other side ye see. What is your name?
Artoria Pendragon, King of the Britons.
I thought your name was Altria.
Oh, shut up.
Very well. What is your
It's the
quest?
name in a
I
video
seek
game.
the Grail.
Can Shiki kill servants?
What do you mean? Tono or Ryogi?
I don't know that.
Get on with it!
All right, I've signed you up for the Counter Guardian program. It's like an unpaid internship, where you get to kill stuff.
Neato!
Guardian
And just
program.
like that, Artoria's soul is plucked from the timeline and is able to seek the Grail while serving as a heroic spirit. Take everything I've said, stuff it into a drawstring container, and you've got all the insane baggage that weighs on our most iconic saber every time you summon her. Many of her fellow knights also find their legends recorded into the Throne of Heroes, making Camelot a rich, yet ridiculous, source for heroic madness. Thank you.
Okay guys, so that's the end of this video, which is Fate Lore Abridged, the ridiculous tales of Camelot, and I think the dialogues are so funny, especially the voice style of Vivian, the Lady of the Lake. She really sounds like a very talented salesperson, and I think it's a very informative and hilarious video about the story of Camelot, and I'm really gonna recommend this video for the newcomer of Fate series so they can understand the backstory of Arturia Pendragon. So thank you guys for watching the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, see you again on my next video, and take care.